Hi Fantasy Managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. I have activated my wildcard. It is now live, ready for game week 9. I'm going to go through my wildcard side for game week 9. I'm going to go through the reasons why I've wildcarded now, the players I've picked. At the end of it, we'll go through some different options, a bit of tinkering on different players. Because remember, once I've pressed that wildcard, I've got unlimited transfers until the game week 9 deadline. So I've got lots of time to choose it. So even if you're not wildcarding, you might find this useful in terms of different players to select. So don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And in the meantime, let's take a look. Reasons for why I'm doing the wildcard then for game week 9. I could have pulled the trigger in game week 8. But you know what? My side was just set up well. It's a well set up side for game week 8. I didn't feel the need to wildcard, so I just postponed it for another week. Also, for game week 9, there is that gap of 2 weeks between 8 and 9. We know some players may come back. There may be injuries picked up on international duty. We've got more data. Just this 2-week break, also on top of that, gives you a chance possibly to make money on the transfer market, which we'll look at right at the end of this video and what I'm doing at the moment. So is that possibility to get your transfer value up and therefore just buy better players over the course of the season? So the 2 weeks just feels like an ideal time to be able to do it. There are some fixture swings as well that would help. And also we've got to use this wildcard before the end of game week 16 or you lose it. World Cup will start, we'll get a whole new side that you can put together when it restarts on Boxing Day. Other than this game week or the previous one, potentially game week 11 because it's got the blank one now with Arsenal, Man City being postponed, or even game week 12 where Liverpool's fixtures swing a little bit. So there is that possibility. But I think with my transfers now between now and that game week 11 and 12, I can sort of mitigate for that. I think I can negotiate that all right. So look at these fixture swings as well that are happening now. Arsenal and Liverpool's fixtures are going to change. So from game week 9, Arsenal's got Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds away is not a bad fixture, but then you got Manchester City, Liverpool, Brighton at home will not be an easy game. Then Arsenal, Man City again. West Ham, I'm not sure that's really a green fixture. But those next 4 games weeks for both sides look pretty tricky. We're all going to own players that have, in Arsenal, you've got lots of Jesus, Martinelli, even Ramsdale, Zinchenko, the likes of Trent. Maybe we're going to come off him now. There's just too many players to get off that I want to hold on from these teams. I would have to make 4 or 5 transfers, I think, to get the side I want for the next week. There's no better time. For me, I'm wildcarding in game week 9. Those are my reasons. Let's have a look at the team. Starting off in goal, then we have Nick Pope. Comes in at 5.2. I think unless I'm going to go to Edison, he is the best choice. The fixtures look decent. I wouldn't say he's been keeping clean sheet after clean sheet, but Newcastle have had some difficult games, so cutting them some slack there. Defensively, yeah, I think they look pretty good. And those fixtures, like I said, Fulham, Brentford, then you have Everton. In between, you got Manchester United, Tottenham, difficult fixtures. But as you'll see in a minute, I think having Ward in goal alongside him does give you a viable choice. I say that with tongue in cheek because Leicester's defence have just been awful. But look at those fixtures coming up. 4 million, he is the cheapest playing goalkeeper. So I think I've got Pope as my first choice. And if I need to, I can drop back on Ward. But as you can see from this graphic, their fixtures not bad in terms of marrying up with each other. When Manchester United away for Newcastle, Leicester have got Palace at home, Tottenham away, Wolves. So you've got a choice there, and I'm not saying it's a great choice, but at 4 million just allows you to do so much money elsewhere with your squad. I'm happy to go with the Ward. I'm happy to have Pope. And the only other dilemma would be game week 16, Chelsea at home, West Ham away. Not sure which way I'll go with that. But talking of saving money, in defence, the first one I've gone for is Emerson. I think he's pretty much a must-have for me in this side. He's pretty much nailed in there. Wolves, Fulham, Southampton, a great set of fixtures for West Ham. Liverpool away, tricky, but for 4 million, don't mind benching him. Then Bournemouth at home looks really good as well. No attacking returns, really been poor in that respect. In the Premier League, at least, he did score in Europe. But I think he looks good for clean sheets at 4 million. Wow, he just enables me to do so much elsewhere throughout my squad. One of the things we can definitely do, I think, is double up on that Newcastle defence. Don't mind doing that. Trippier looks like the obvious choice to do it. Good fixtures have we seen on set pieces. XGI is pretty decent. £5.3 million defender. on set pieces, I think he's in. He's one of my other nailed on players. Nico Williams, whereas Forest defence doesn't look great, Nico Williams' XGI continues to be really high, 0.3 compared to that of a Cancelo of 0.1. He's above Trent, Dalot, maybe even Reece James is above him, but those fixtures look good for Forest. 4.1 enabler allows me to do money elsewhere across the squad, and some of those fixtures I don't think I'd mind playing him in either, and I know he's going to play as well. Kyle Walker, I've got a problem when it comes to game week 12 because their fixtures called off, but cheap way into that Man City defence. I definitely want a Man City defender. I definitely want a defender from the best defence in the division. Walker at 5 million gives me that cheap option into it. The fixtures don't daunt me. Man U, Liverpool, Brighton, not easy. And even a blank, but I still want, for 5 million, need to keep an eye on the press conferences. He was on the bench against Wolves. 2-week international break. Should be, you would have thought, back in contention for that Manchester derby. Walker looks like a good option for me. We'll just have to wait and see what Pep does to confirm it. Lastly, I think Reece James, 6 million, good fixtures, nailed on that right hand side for Chelsea. XGI has been brilliant all season, had him from the start, no intentions of letting him go. If Chelsea could just keep some clean sheets as well, he'd just be an absolute must have in all of our sides. But at the moment, just need those clean sheets, please, Reece. In midfield, Zaha, one of my must-haves as well. I think if I could choose when I'd have him, maybe pick him up on game week 10, but I don't want a wildcard now, book in a transfer straight away, so he's in my side. If I need to put him on the bench, I can do that. Chelsea at home, I could definitely see him scoring nonetheless. Great XGI, difficult price point 7.2, but he, out of all of those players, I think he's got to get it. On pen, set pieces, he's getting lots of returns. Palace look pretty good as well. Great fixtures. He's in must have for me. Next in line, I've got KDB. There is a shout for one or two other Man City midfielders, but I'm going KDB. His XGI, his underlying stats look brilliant. I think he's pretty much, I don't want to say fixture proof really, but Man City, which we know, can just score against anyone. The only small criticism, if it's a criticism, not scoring many goals. 1 goal this season, 6 assists. We want him dealing in goals, but picking up those bonus points, Man City midfielder, he just tops the charts in terms of XGI for midfielders. KDB gets the nod for me. In midfield, this one's up for debate. St. Maximin, if he's fit, he's definitely one I'm considering bringing in. The only problem is you then block yourself from a move later on, which we'll look at, because you've got 3 Newcastle players. XGI looks good, fixtures look fine, 6.4, midfielder playing very, very advanced. I like the look of him, bit of a differential as well, but he's up for debate, have to be said. Raheem Sterling, his stats since the last 3 or 4 years have just been so consistently good, and it's pretty much mirrored this season as well. 0.7, 0.8, he's been bouncing around, just continued that. He looks like an ever-present in that Chelsea side, even scored in Europe. Fixtures look really good. I've had him from the start. I still want to keep him right now. Finally, Andreas, 4.6, enabler. He plays every week. XGI not great, but what am I expecting from a 4.6? I think around that price point, he has to be the one, and the fixtures look good. I know he's going to play, chipping in with the odd assist. If he scores, even better. But otherwise, Andreas gets the nod for me. Talking of Fulham assets, I've plumbed here for Mitrovic. I know he's playing. He's got a good XGI. Most of the things go through Fulham. If they score, he's mainly involved. I know the Forest game was a bit of an exception, but look at those fixtures, look pretty decent. 6.9, I do like him. There's other options, and he's not nailed in my side, but he's definitely one I'm going to be considering. Alongside him, here's a bit of a curveball and definitely up for debate. Tell me what you think about this one. I'm going Bamford. Rodrigo out, 7.3. I don't think I can really take that XGI into consideration because he just hasn't played many games yet. Villa at home, Palace, Arsenal, Leicester, Fulham, up front for Leeds. I just think he's worth a shout at 7.3. You could go Tony. Bamford's definitely the differential choice. I'm tempted with him. I'm tempted. I've provisionally penciled him in. Not saying I'm absolutely going to go for it. I think it'd be a brave call if you could, but he's definitely in contention for it. And then lastly, I don't even think we need a conversation. Even with the blank game weeks and difficult fixtures, Haaland is an absolute must-have in this side. Let's now take a look at some of the different options that we have got with some of these players. Here is a side in its entirety. 100.5 million is what it comes up as. In terms of your transfers, you may have made better transfers than other through the course of the season, and value may be up or down. Depending on that, you might have more money, less money. You could upgrade, let's say, a Mitrovic to a Tony, or even downgrade from a Bamford to a Tony. Tony seems like a pretty safe option. On pens, nailed as we know, good underlying stats, half decent fixtures, you'd have to say. Tony, perfectly good option to me. Elsewhere, what you could do is we completely overlooked Liverpool assets, given that fixture run that they've got. Is that a mistake? Could we bring Salah in? Is he an option at 13 million? You could say he is. I couldn't blame it. It's just very difficult to get to for 13 million. Other options you've got as well. Isaac. Now the problem with Isaac, he looks good, decent fixtures, but you'd have to look at taking a St. Maximum out perhaps, and then playing Isaac in midfield. You could bring him down to, let's say, a Paqueta to Isaac. That almost saves you $750,000 straight away, so you're pretty good odds there. It's 0.67, decent underlying stats as well. Again, the other option you could do is Foden. Foden started every game for Man City this season. He's got one more goal than De Bruyne. I think he's got 3 assists. It's just that game week 12, but that's the same problem with De Bruyne. You save yourself 4.3 million by bringing Foden in. That's got to be something I'm going to take a look at over the next course of the next 2 weeks. That's definitely an option for me, Foden. Elsewhere, you look at the likes of Maddison. He's doing pretty well. Look at those fixtures coming up. Even though Leicester are conceding a lot of goals, not winning games, he is still contributing and getting goal involvement. Underlying stats aren't great, but 7.9 with those fixtures, perhaps now's the time to look at bringing him in. And as already looked at Paqueta, haven't got a lot of details for him. His XGI at Lyon last year in the league, not bad, 0.3. He's got that pretty much so far, but it's only a straw poll, only 2 games played. He's getting his feet under the table, but great fixtures at 6 million. He could be a real bargain. And I am interested in a West Ham player with those fixtures coming up. Bowen, a bit more expensive, could be difficult to get to. The other thing I will say is that even though this is my wildcard side and I truly am intending on going to this side, I've actually, because of price rises, taken 3 of these players out and got the likes of Martinelli, Gordon and Isaac in. Their prices were due to go up on Friday when I hit the trigger to wildcard. So if Gordon goes up, he's already gone up by 0.1. If he goes up again, I can sell him, make 0.1 profit for my side. And the same with Isaac. Martinelli already owns, so by holding them, I actually gained that 0.1. So there is an opportunity to play the market, especially during the international break, because there's 2 weeks. So could players adjust in price enough to make a profit? We'll have a look. We tried it in the past, hasn't really paid off. We'll have a look at it again, because there's no harm. If any of these players start to go up in value, if let's say Zaha threatened to go up to 7.3, I'll just move on to him before he did. So that's the team that I've got at the moment. Let's see if it works in terms of transfer profit as well. Finally, then, I want to have a look at the fixtures, because these are important. Man City blank in game week 12. They're meant to play Arsenal. That game's been rearranged due to European commitments for Arsenal. So Man City's fixtures don't look great. I've got 3 Man City players in. I absolutely intend on keeping those for as long as I can. Can I perhaps look to shift them out before that Liverpool game, though? I don't think, afford to go into that blank game week for Man City with 3 Man City assets, because if one of my other players doesn't play, that's it. I've got 10 players. I do not want to be in that situation. I'm not too concerned about losing one for Liverpool. I don't like the idea of keeping him for Southampton, transferring him out for 2 weeks, and then intending to transfer him in. I don't like that idea, but I don't want to use a chip to negotiate and make sure I've got 11 players out either. For that reason, it also makes it difficult to have 3 Man City players and any Arsenal assets, because I know then that I've got even more players to try and shift out. And Man City's fixtures look pretty good afterwards as well, so I'm definitely going to want them back in. What it does do is kind of marry up though with Liverpool, so I'm not going to want Liverpool assets, I don't think, until that game week 12. West Ham at home, Forest away looks good, then Leeds at home. So do I just jump for Man City assets in game week 12, go on to a couple of Liverpool assets? That is an option and a way of maximising those. Salah looks like the obvious choice, a Diaz possibly. So I've got to bear this in mind and have this in the back of my mind. What am I going to do with those assets? When I wildcard, I am not going to be doing a transfer for love nor money in game week 10. I'm going to roll them over, so I've definitely got 2 for when this game week 12 comes up. It's looming on the horizon. I don't want to be caught short and not getting 11 players out. So I'm going to definitely keep 2 transfers available at all times. The other team I want to mention was Tottenham. We haven't had any of their assets. Arsenal away, Brighton away. Tricky games. Everton at home, I'd definitely like to own 1 or 2 Tottenham assets for that one. Man U away, tricky. Newcastle at home, I wouldn't say that's an easy game either. The other thing as well, Conte's come and said no player is undroppable. We've seen Son come off the bench and get a hat-trick. Unless it's Kane, I'm not sure who else is definitely going to play. Is Richarlison, Kulusevski, Son going to get minutes? Has Son played himself back into the side now? Defensively, maybe Perisic, but again, with those European games, is he going to get the 4 minutes? He came off at 55 at the weekend against Leicester. So I am worried about who's playing minutes for Tottenham, and I don't think I can trust their defence enough against some of those fixtures. So unless it's Kane, I'm not sure who to go for. And Kane's very difficult to get in unless I'm going to drop a KDB, which is an option of bringing Foden in, doing that, and I haven't ruled it out. But I think these fixtures are just enough to put me off Kane at the moment. That's it for this one then, guys. I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments below. Are you wildcarding for game week 9 or have you already done so? If so, am I missing any players? Have I not covered someone that should be in my side? Let me know. Always be good to hear from you. In the meantime, we've got 2 weeks till the end of this international break. We'll update this wildcard before then. And also come back at you with some team selections. We'll look at different things like differentials, chip strategy. So make sure you hit that subscribe. In the meantime, guys, take care, good luck, and I'll speak to you soon.